In a future where death isn't the end, Mickey 17 takes us on a gripping sci-fi journey to the frozen planet of Niflheim. Meet Mickey, a disposable worker known as an Expendable, whose body can be reprinted every time he dies. But when one mission goes wrong and a new copy of Mickey is printed while the original is still alive, everything spirals into chaos. The movie opens on the icy planet Niflheim in the year 2054. Mickey 17 wakes up in a ditch, realizing his communications and thermal systems are broken. As he evaluates the situation, he sees a rescue ship nearby and calls out for help. A man named Timo approaches, but instead of helping, he hesitates. He says he'll take Mickey's flamethrower, but not him, because the ship will just print a new copy if he dies. Timo leaves. Mickey, now alone, notices eerie creatures watching him from a distance. The chilling reality sets in he's going to die. The next day, Mickey's voiceover explains how this all works. Every time he dies, his body is reprinted, and his consciousness stored in a device called a brick is transferred into the new body. This technology is illegal on Earth, but used in deep space for people like him. Expendables. They are created for high-risk missions and treated as disposable. Scientists routinely send him into lethal situations, including exposure to radiation. When he dies, they simply print another. Mickey then explains how he got into this situation. A friend once convinced him to invest borrowed money into a failing business. They were caught and brought before Darius Blank, a ruthless tycoon. To escape punishment, Mickey applied to join an expedition to colonize an ice planet without realizing what being an expendable truly meant. He was accepted immediately. Only afterward did an employee explain the horrifying truth. She took a sample of his body and uploaded his memories into a brick. From then on, he belonged to the Expendable program. On board the spaceship, the crew gathers for lunch. A man named Kenneth Marshall introduces himself. Mickey meets the crew, including a woman named Nasha. Marshall announces that food will be rationed until they reach the planet and that the journey requires discipline. The trip continues. Mickey dies multiple times, each death followed by another version of him being printed. During this time, he and Nasha often find themselves clashing with crew protocols. One day, a crew member named Kai approaches Mickey for conversation, but the moment ends awkwardly. Months pass, and they finally arrive at the ice planet. As part of an initial test, Mickey is sent outside to assess the atmosphere. He discovers a lethal airborne virus and dies. Versions Mickey 13 through 16 are used as test subjects in the effort to develop a cure. After many failures, the team eventually succeeds in creating a vaccine. During exploration of the planet, the crew encounters an alien species in a deep trench. One of the crew is killed while trying to flee. Back on the ship, Marshall furiously blames Mickey. He insists the Expendable should have taken the fall. As punishment, Mickey is forced to work 14-hour shifts with reduced food rations until he retrieves a sample of the alien. While working, Mickey 17 loses his footing and falls into a trench just like the beginning. But this time, he survives. The alien creatures spare him and help him out of the trench before vanishing. Regaining his strength, Mickey finds a nearby vehicle, changes clothes, and returns to the ship. But when he enters his room, he discovers something shocking. A new version of him, Mickey 18, has already been printed. Two Mickeys now exist at once, a serious breach of protocol. Before Mickey 17 can act, Mickey 18 hits him with a dumbbell, knocking him unconscious. Meanwhile, on Earth, the creators of the printing machine are questioned. They had claimed the system had safeguards, but the appearance of multiple copies raises serious concerns. Mickey recalls the story of Manova, a brilliant yet deranged scientist who created multiple versions of himself to commit crimes. When discovered, 3 identical Manovas were caught, leading to the law that no duplicate should ever exist at the same time. Back on the ship, Mickey 18 attempts to dispose of the unconscious Mickey 17 by hiding him in a trash bin and heading toward the ship's broiler. But Mickey 17 is awake and observing. As Mickey 18 prepares to push him in, Mickey 17 fights back with a dumbbell. Mickey 18 quickly overpowers him and nearly pushes him into the broiler before someone interrupts. Mickey 18 drags him away to avoid detection. Later, Timo reappears and begins selling drugs to the crew. Mickey 18 confronts him and nearly shoves him into the broiler. Mickey 17 tries to intervene, but the tension escalates. Mickey 18 grabs a metal rod to attack Mickey 17, but just then, Nasha and another crew member arrive and stop the fight. Mickey 18 and Nasha leave together. As Mickey 17 gets ready to follow them, he's told he's invited to a dinner party hosted by Marshall. At the ceremonial dinner, Mickey 17, having survived weeks on emergency rations and nutrient packs, finally finds himself in front of a real meal. His eyes widen with disbelief as he sees steaming trays of hot food, a rare sight in the colony. Without hesitation, he devours the dishes with desperate enthusiasm, unable to contain his hunger. The taste, the warmth, the texture, it's overwhelming after the bland monotony of survival rations. For a moment, he allows himself to forget the pain and chaos he's been through. The dining hall buzzes with tension as others observe him, unsure whether to treat him as a guest or an aberration. Then, in an unexpected turn, Marshall, the colony's harsh and unyielding leader, approaches and calmly offers an apology. It's awkward, restrained, and lacking sincerity, but still an apology nonetheless. The atmosphere shifts again as Kai, strong-willed and defiant, arrives and joins the dinner. Her presence is grounding for Mickey, but any sense of calm is short-lived. As the evening continues, Marshall's true motives surface. He leans forward, addressing Kai in a calculating tone. He suggests, almost casually, that she should consider becoming a baby machine, a disturbing and dehumanizing role he claims is necessary to ensure the colony's survival and the continuation of the human race. The suggestion is met with stunned silence. Disgusted and furious, Kai refuses without hesitation. Instead, she takes command of the room, rising from her seat and leading a solemn prayer to honor the colony's fallen soldiers. Her voice is steady, but her eyes burn with rage. As the prayer ends, Mickey 17 suddenly begins to tremble. His body convulses, and without warning, he vomits violently across the table. Gasps erupt around the room. The medical team rushes over, revealing that Mickey 17 had been injected with experimental growth hormones without his consent. Their intention was to reduce his suffering, they claim, but the results are catastrophic. A painkiller is administered, but it's useless. The agony only intensifies. Mickey screams and writhes on the floor, his limbs thrashing, his skin clammy with sweat. Marshall, stone-faced, reaches for his weapon. He levels the gun at Mickey 17, prepared to end what he views as a failed clone. But before he can pull the trigger, Kai steps between them. Without hesitation, she intervenes, shielding Mickey from harm and dragging him to safety. She brings him to her private quarters, where the chaos of the dinner slowly fades behind them. Inside her quarters, Kai lights a small candle and offers Mickey a cup of tea made from herbs brought from Earth, an incredibly rare luxury. As he sips it, the warmth settles his nerves. They sit in silence for a moment before Kai begins asking questions, trying to understand him. But Mickey grows quiet, emotionally distant. The layers of confusion about his identity, his purpose, and the pain he just endured begin to surface. He stands up abruptly and leaves, unable to face these questions or his own reflection. Outside, Nasha spots the two Mickeys crossing paths. She bursts into laughter and, in a moment of twisted humor, draws the numbers 17s and 8s with a marker. Mickey 17 quickly realizes something is wrong. Nasha and several others are clearly intoxicated or under the influence of something strange. The air thickens with tension as Kai notices the two Mickeys standing side by side, a direct violation of protocol. Kai tries to alert the authorities, but Nasha physically stops her, preventing her from speaking out. Desperate to find a resolution, Kai proposes an odd compromise. She will take care of Mickey 17 and Nasha can have Mickey 18. The proposal is absurd, and Nasha reacts with sudden anger, shouting and escalating the situation further. Soon, Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 begin arguing. Words turn to shouting, and shouting turns to violence. Overwhelmed with rage and feeling like his existence is being threatened, Mickey 18 grabs a gun. He storms off toward the gathering, where Marshall is preparing to give a speech. Marshall stands before a curious rock formation, addressing the colony with his usual authoritarian flair. As he speaks, someone in the crowd spots a subtle movement within the formation. Panic spreads. All at once, a strange alien creature bursts forth from the rock. Chaos erupts as people scream and scatter. Amid the pandemonium, Mickey 18 raises his weapon and aims at Marshall. He's about to fire, but a crew member tackles him just in time. The alien creature lunges at Marshall, slashing with speed and fury. In response, Marshall shouts for the crew to kill it. Weapons are drawn, and the alien is subdued. After the incident, Marshall's focus turns to the two Mickeys. Furious that both are still alive and free, he orders their arrest. They are dragged away and locked in a cell. In the quiet of the prison, Mickey 17 and Nasha begin to reflect. They finally piece together the truth. It was the native creatures, the aliens, who had rescued Mickey 17 from the trench, not luck or fate. Their contemplation is interrupted by the sudden arrival of Chemo, who reveals his grim purpose. He was sent by Darius Blank to film Mickey's execution. But before he can complete his this mission, Mickey, 18, and Nasha spring into action. A violent struggle ensues. They manage to overpower Timo and escape the cell. Their freedom is short-lived. They are quickly captured again, and this time, they are sentenced to death. As they are marched to their execution, something extraordinary happens. Dozens of native creatures appear outside the ship, gathering in silent protest. A crew member notes something heartbreaking: the baby alien that was captured has been crying endlessly since it was taken. Inside the ship, a horrifying scene unfolds. Marshall's wife, cold and calculating, amputates the baby creature's tail and prepares a soup from it. Her cruelty is masked as clinical efficiency. Marshall returns and brands Mickey, 18, with a marker to tell the two apart. Determined to eliminate any confusion, he deletes key parts of Mickey's memories from the brick, a brutal erasure of identity. Nasha tries to intervene, insisting that Mickey, 18, was the one who discovered the second creature, but her words are ignored. A scientist tentatively suggests using a translator to communicate with the aliens. Marshall scoffs at the idea and mocks him. Suddenly, in a shocking act of defiance, the captured alien humiliates Marshall in front of the crew. Enraged, he orders the creature thrown into the broiler to be burned alive. But just as the alien is cast down, Nasha lunges forward and catches it, saving it from the flames. Meanwhile, one of the crew begins recording everything documenting the abuse, the cruelty, and the unraveling of Marshall's leadership. With the aliens surrounding the ship, Marshall escalates things. He orders the release of a deadly gas to wipe them all out. His wife turns the mission into a perverse contest. Whichever soldier returns with 100 alien tails survives, the other will be executed. Mickey, 17, and Mickey, 18 are thrown into the frozen wilderness, left to face the deadly landscape. Before they leave, a sympathetic scientist secretly hands Mickey, 17, a prototype translator. After a grueling journey through snow and ice, the two Mickeys finally reach the alien stronghold. Inside, they meet the leader of the native species. Using the translator, Mickey, 17, expresses his gratitude for being saved and warns them about the deadly gas attack. The alien leader responds solemnly, asking why the humans killed one of their young. Mickey, 18, responds coldly, asking what the aliens would do if more of their kind were killed. The leader's answer is chilling: if another baby dies, the entire human colony will be eradicated. To prove their power, the alien leader emits a high-frequency sonic wave. The sound is unbearable and could kill a human instantly if intensified. Mickey, 17, pleads for a peaceful solution, urging that the baby be returned before war breaks out. Back on the ship, Marshall is preparing for a final standoff. With his wife in temporary command, preparations are made for an inevitable clash. At the designated negotiation site, the alien leader presents a harsh condition. One Mickey must die to balance the scales. Justice must be served. In the chaos that follows, Nasha takes matters into her own hands. She grabs Marshall's wife and demands that the baby creature be returned. As they struggle, the rope holding the alien baby slips. Time seems to freeze, but Nasha catches it at the last moment and runs. As the alien forces prepare to strike, Nasha arrives just in time. She presents the baby as a peace offering, returning it safely to its people. The alien leader accepts the gesture, calling off the attack. Knowing what must be done, Mickey, 18, sacrifices himself, ensuring that only one version of Mickey remains to move forward. 6 months later, peace has been achieved between the humans and the native creatures. The colony begins rebuilding with a new understanding. At a formal meeting, Mickey, 17, sits quietly, reflecting on how much has changed. Yet even now, he still dreams of Marshall and his wife nightmares that linger like smoke. As the meeting concludes, members of the crew surround him with thanks. For now, the colony lives in harmony, but Mickey knows peace is never permanent. It must be protected.